Why have traditional hedge funds underperformed since 2009? Why has Warren Buffett underperformed? All the big names in the hedge fund industry have not done well since 2009. The conventional answer to this question is the Fed has been printing money, and therefore the rules of the games have changed and we can't perform anymore in the old ways. We have to define new ways. I am making a different statement here. I believe the world has become more vulgar. Social media has gotten rid of societal filters that have been constraining us for decades, and this getting rid of the filters has created a more vulgar world. And I think there is also in the stock market vulgarity, and what I mean with that is things that the establishment simply cannot accept. For example, stocks like Tesla, Amazon, they're vulgar. Vulgar in a way that they are very good, the way I describe them is they're the Cardi B's of the financial world. So they're very good. Cardi B is a phenomenal performer, great artist, but she's also a stripper, and her language is absolutely not tolerable. And this is exactly how Tesla, for example, comes across in the financial world. Extremely good, engineering, all that stuff, world class, the best people go work there, all that stuff. But in a sense, from a financial perspective, from a conventional perspective, it is not acceptable, and that's why the returns have been so high. That's why people are now flocking in the stock, and they've had so many barriers to getting into the stock in the past. This is not even on podcast. It's June 12, 2021. This is Crimdelco. It's a Saturday. There's no update, so we're still down 11.2% for the year. The market's up 13%. We're underperforming by 24.2%. Today I want to state a new thesis to the question of why have traditional money managers, why have traditional hedge fund managers, traditional you name it, people like Warren Buffett, just generally people that we've been looking up to, people that we've been impressed with their strategies, their ways of managing money, all that stuff. Why have they been not able to perform in the last 10 years? And the answer is, like I said, I believe the world has become more vulgar, and it's very difficult for the establishment to accept that vulgarity, to accept that new way of doing things. And that's why we have this new breed of YouTubers and all kinds of people that make money, and on the other hand we have a lot of traditional people that cannot make money. And I think it's the social media, it's the unbarriering of the world. So getting rid of all these filters, getting rid of the barriers, but that social media is sort of a word for all of these things. What I mean with social media is not just Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all these things, but in general, just the barriers are. We're taking off our clothes. We're showing what we've got. You go to the gym. I'm in Dallas right now. I'm in a gym, a very, very good gym, and there's all these people, and the girls walk around. I mean, there's no more. They're showing it, and that's it. I mean, this is just one example, and there's many other examples like that. We have TikTok. We have all these what we call vulgarity. If you look at the big stars in the sort of the influencer world, in the media world, the Instagram world, the TikTok world, I think most people will call them vulgar, and that's exactly the same thing is happening in the stock market. And I've said on this podcast before that we have to look at the art world. We have to look at the sort of the most sensitive part of society, which is always those people, the artists, the creatives, the people that are able to express themselves in some sort of media, and then through social media now they have this huge reach, and they find nerves in society that tick, and therefore they succeed. And we have to look at them always as hedge fund managers to see what is really going on. And this one of the things is Tesla. Tesla is a very good example of a stock that is vulgar, because it's not. If in 2009 you walked into a traditional money management company, be it a hedge fund or a traditional pension fund or anything like that, anything along those lines, and you've suggested that you're going to invest in a company run by an entrepreneur, an eccentric entrepreneur who in 2021 will be tweeting about Bitcoin and Dogecoin, who will be launching a car that is faster than a Porsche, and more safe than a Volvo, whose internal computer engine will be as fast as the most advanced gaming engine, who is also going to launch a rocket company, etc., etc. You get my point here. You would not have been able to raise money. Now the returns of this man, Elon Musk namely, are off the charts. They are much, much higher than anything else you could have done in the stock market. All the other strategies combined, after fees, commissions, and all the other stuff you have to pay, you would have outperformed everything by investing in this man. The same applies to Jeff Bezos, the same applies to Facebook, the same applies to the whole shebang of these stocks that have been doing so well. This is another way to say what Peter Thiel calls stupid. He's Peter Thiel being Peter Thiel. He says just invest in the most stupid thing. The stupid thing was FANG, and now it's Bitcoin and whatnot. What he's really saying in other words is just invest in vulgar stocks. Vulgar meaning things that are not acceptable by the establishment. That's what he's really saying, and I agree with that. And it just dawned to me this morning. My son showed me a picture of a famous TikTok influencers, and my first reaction was they're vulgar. They look so vulgar. Why is everybody who's famous in the social media space? My first reaction is always vulgar. I'm not judging. That's my first reaction. I'm sorry. And why? Because I'm a 52-year-old person, so I have certain understandings of social behavior, of social norms, all that stuff which is built over the decades. And no matter how much I try, I do have prejudice and all that stuff. And my view of let's say these people that are pictured on that magazine was vulgar. And then it dawned to me that everybody, that this new world of unfiltered media that we have is promoting vulgarity in a good way, not just in a bad way, because in a good way it's also we're unfiltered, right? We're unfiltered. We're getting rid of all these filters, of all these barriers that we had, the financial media, the newspapers, all these things. There was always a certain barrier. There was always a certain filter being applied, and therefore it was very difficult for things to surface. And now things are surfacing a lot more because the filters are being taken off. And one example of that is the financial world. And we can see that also in what's called the meme stocks today. The meme stocks are the kinds of stocks where they're going up just because everybody else thinks they're going to go up, which of course is a definition of a bubble. And of course we have a certain bubble in stocks. But that's okay. You can argue that Cardi B is a bubble, or you can argue she sells a lot of music because she's good. People like to listen to her. And this is the fine line that we have to walk as investors. Is Tesla a Cardi B, or is Tesla a meme stock like GameStop? Which one is which? And I think the answer for Tesla is clearly it's a Cardi B. It's very good. The engineering, the fundamentals, the leadership, the human resources management, all of these things are state of the art, but they're also very new. They're very risky. They're very not establishment-like. Therefore, we have very little. How should I say? Things to go after. Things like clues. That was the word I was looking for. We can't reason by analogy. The same way you could not reason by analogy with Cardi B. Now let me say a few things about the music industry. The music industry has always been in the business of surfacing vulgarity. That has been the music industry. Actually, if we talk about the music industry, that's what we mean. People finding the next vulgar act that will become establishment. The Beatles were considered vulgar when they came up. The Stones were considered vulgar. Even Elvis. Then we go on. Pearl Jam, Nirvana, vulgar, vulgar, vulgar. Lady Gaga, Beyonce. Now it's Cardi B. I guarantee you in 10 years Cardi B will feel like Lady Gaga feels today. Just normal kind of mid-aged, boring music. Why? Because that's what the music industry does. In fact, the music industry is not about music. The music industry is certainly not about are you a good singer or anything like that. It is about the next level of vulgarity that we can sell to the public and still survive or get away with it. That's what the music industry really is all about. And I think the combination of that with let's say management and performance and live show and all that, that's really what the music industry sort of as a package it has become, and actually has always been, I'm sorry. And now I think with the unfiltering of the world, all the other industries, in particular the financial world, which is kind of a media business as well, is becoming a lot more like the music industry. Where's the next vulgar thing? Tesla is the next. Tesla is sort of the Beatles of this generation. Where's the next Beatles? Where's the next Rolling Stones? Where's the next Lady Gaga? Where's the next Cardi B? Those are the questions that we should be asking ourselves as hedge fund managers. And the answer to this question is very difficult to find, because the same way it's very difficult in the music industry to say, okay, where is the next Cardi B? You don't know. You just don't know. So what do people do? They throw a lot of stuff at the wall, hoping that something sticks. And I think we at Orange Capital Partners, we have a principle stack, so we try to kind of build from the ground up a certain way of principles, a certain way of recipes to go with this uncertainty and hopefully find the next Cardi B. Or if you can't find it, then still ride the train of the Cardi B. That's what we're doing right now. We believe that CRISPR and Tesla are good examples of vulgar stocks. Again, in a way, the definition of vulgarity in our world is something that the establishment just cannot accept. But it's very good fundamentally and therefore will succeed. Thank you.